side to side. Without you by my side, my side, my side. Without you by my side. One time from side to side. Peekaboo, I see you, peekaboo, I see you. Looking at me, looking at you. Hold up, where you going? What you doing? Who you seeing? What you need? What you want? I said, without you by my side, my side, my side. Without you by my side. One time from side to side. Without you by my side, I can't go outside. Without you by my side, I can't go outside. Without you by my side, I can't go outside. One time from side to side. Walking alone, the streets are empty. The only thing I can see is my own silhouette. I'm getting stronger, step by step. The clock is ticking, but there's no time for regrets. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe trying to protect your soul. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Yeah. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Feel like a dynamite, ready to explode right up in the sky. I need you to listen, I need you to hear, and don't show any fear. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe trying to protect your soul. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Yeah. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight.
Ladies, gentlemen, and everyone in that wonderful Technicolor rainbow in between, welcome to tonight's coverage of the Titan Esports Divinity League. I'm your host, Watchaverdi, and joining me tonight, as per usual, it's Golden Gad. How you doing tonight, Golden?
Oh, I'm doing great. We're ready to watch pretty much a banger of a matchup considering how the standings have shaken up. We got Baron Besties versus Literal Monkeys, so we'll see what ends up happening in this next series, obviously. I'm pretty excited since this is rounding down towards the end of the season. We are in week 8, so only one more week before you do lock those spots. And both of these teams are competing for that final playoff spot, seeded currently 4th and 5th with the exact same record. So you can imagine that this is going to matter a lot coming into these next few weeks.
Yeah, this matchup is hugely important for standings and playoffs implication. Assuming other matches go as predicted, which obviously it's the Divinity League, they might not always go as expected. There's going to be upsets. But assuming everything goes as expected, this matchup should decide who gets that last playoff spot between Conduit Esports Phoenix, TFF Aftershock, Dorado Gaming Lambda, and one of these two teams tonight. Because even if they end up with a tie, the first thing that gets checked on a tiebreaker is that head-to-head matchup. So this is a matchup that is going to be very important for both of these teams to come in and find a victory in to pretty much round out their season.
Yeah, and I'd say that there's a pretty good chance that, there is a very small chance is what I should be saying. There's a very small chance that they could actually, depending on how the dice rolls, there's a very small chance that Dorado does get booted out. We already talked about this scenario. It's only if they lose today to Ultraviolet. So that's another matchup to watch out for. If it ends before our matchup here on stream finishes,
we'll
keep you updated for that if that happens. But given everything, it should just be between these two teams in most scenarios, in most multiverses. So we'll see what ends up happening for Baron Besties and Little Monkeys here.
Yeah, and the Monkeys have been on a hell of a tear throughout their past recent weeks. They have gone win after win after win. I think they've dropped maybe one game in the past 3 weeks, if that many. They have just been absolutely on a roll here after what was arguably a pretty rough start for them to the beginning of the season. I believe they started 0-3 in that first 3 weeks, and then since then have just won and kept on winning.
Yeah, and for Baron Besties, I mean, they're coming off of at least a little bit of a turnaround since they did drop a couple matches, but they also, crucially, 2 weeks ago, they did beat Conduit Esports, so that is a team that is at the top of the standing, so that gives them some ground to stand off when it comes into this matchup, whereas, Little Monkeys doesn't have as many big name wins, but they have been consistent in these last couple of weeks. So I'd say that is really where it's going to be. Is Baron Besties going to show up on their peak, or is Little Monkeys going to keep that consistency going and roll it through into past this week 8 here?
Yeah, and like we said, this is a week where you really do have to be at the peak of your game. So for both of these teams, incredibly important to be showing up on the day. And before we actually get into the matchup itself, I do want to check in on our predictions for today. Golden, I already know what I'm going to be saying. What do you have for the matchup today?
I really do value the peak in leagues like these, so I think I'm just going to go with Baron Besties. It's going to be close, though, because since these teams are quite matched up, 2-1 is what my call is going to be here. I think it'll be close. Obviously I haven't watched any Little Monkeys games because they haven't been here on stream. I know that they have creative draft angles that I have seen, but Baron Besties, from what we did end up seeing as far as the draft was concerned against Conduit in particular, I was pretty impressed, so we'll see if that holds true. How about you?
I'm feeling a little bit spicier today. I think the Little Monkeys have a lot of players that I'm familiar with, a lot of known names for me at the very least, and a lot of players that I have a lot of faith in, especially Pink Penguin down there in the support role. So I'm going to say 2-0 Monkeys, they're going to sweep the series. But we're coming into draft here in game number 1, and that first ban there for Little Monkeys is a bit of a deception. We've got a new champion here in the league now, recently enabled, is Aurora. So the UB ban that you see here is going to be that Aurora champion. We're not going to be seeing her the first week she's available at the very least.
Yeah, and I think that's a good call. Champ's pretty strong right now, but interestingly enough, I like to shift our focus to these mid lane bans. There's a lot of consistent damage dealer kind of drain tanks, which is a little bit interesting since you don't really see that kind of identity as much. Cassio has been picking up in play, but Vlad has been pretty much off the map the entire time, so I imagine that is a specialty pick there for the side of Baron Besties at the very least. Ophelios going to get banned away from Pot of Greed, and then, or not Pot of Greed, sorry, Mary Lee Sin, and then Olaf also getting taken off the table, which indicates to me that they want to play a tank top first and foremost there for the side of Baron Besties.
Yeah, I do wonder if it's just going to be something like an early Ornn slam for Moxie. I don't think you would want to grab it this early, especially with the ludicrous amount of AD carries that have been running around the meta. Something I talked about a lot just as a caster and as a personality is the lack of Malphite that we've been seeing pretty much everywhere from the highest tiers of leagues down here into the Divinity League. But another champion that has been incredibly strong that I think has been seeing a lot of priority is that Leona that Baron Besties are going to grab up. I think 53% win rate right now in Masters Plus. She is incredibly good as a frontline engage tank and makes the lives of immobile AD carries like Jinx very, very good.
Yeah, and I like the Nautilus pick here. It is very good into the Zeri in particular, since, a slippery champion can't avoid a point-and-click ability, so Nautilus, a no-brainer there. And Volibear is going to be the answer, so I guess they're kind of on the tail here where they do think that Baron Besties will pick a tank, so they're going to pick Volibear, something that does do well into these tank-on-tank matchups in the top side, but could also be flexed into the jungle as well. And as a response, Baron Besties is going to lock up Sejuani, which also could be flexed. We have seen a bit of Sejuani top, especially in this league, kind of showing up, and I believe it was Moxie actually who played it last time I saw it, so I could definitely see that as a flex pick. And with Sejuani getting banned, that is, Silas getting banned, that's a pretty good call out there since they do have Leona Sejuani there.
Now, I don't know if the Little Monkeys have this in their pocket as a pick, but I'm looking at a Leona and a Sejuani, and my mind is screaming. Trundle is such an insane pick here. has always been the tank counter with that subjugation, but especially these tanks that do run Aftershock, like Leona and Sejuani, ones that have amplifications to their own armor within their kit. It just allows you to reduce them into the negatives for their stats. I'll have to see, and I'm curious to see if Little Monkeys do have it in a pocket pick, maybe either in jungle or in top lane to match up against this set, as it's going to move that Sejuani over to the jungle for Baron Besties. The Little Monkeys are going to be saving that top lane for last possible pick here, or I guess the flexibility for last possible pick is they're going to grab out the Talia, just a nice, consistent, safe mid laner.
Yeah, I'd say that's pretty consistent, pretty safe there. I will say that is the set locked in, which does do actually okay into Trundle, so... You know, in that ladder, it's maybe a dangerous pick, since if you do put the Trundle in the top lane, that could be dangerous. But they're gonna lock in Cassante. This champ's on the rise again, as he is.
Hang on.
Gonna get the Brand final pick as well.
So this means one of a few things: either it's Brand jungle, Sejuani top, and Set mid, or we're gonna be seeing Brand mid with Sejuani and Set in their normal spots. I'm interested to see how this is actually gonna line up. It is going to be this... Hang on.
That was not in your cards.
Yeah, so is this actually Brand top, or if I wonder if Moxie is going to be running the Brand in mid lane and they're going to send the Pyrat up top side?
Which I think they flexed one game as well last time, so we'll see. But
yeah,
Brand is traditional, I think, has been picking up steam in mid, even though I think this champ is extremely strong in mid, hasn't been played as much, and... It does, I think, struggle a bit into Talia, so I'm surprised to actually see it get picked up as that final pick there. But I think if you pilot it well, it still should be fine, since you don't really have to worry about it. You're mostly worrying about those front line tanks. You got the Cassante, the Volibear, and the Nautilus to actually shred through, so Brand does make sense to some capacity. But, yeah, besides that, I think all these matchups are pretty volatile, I'd say. Like, when I think Leona's area, I think Jinx, Nautilus, these lanes do end up kind of swaying in different ways, and Set in particular is always a champ that does want to find these solo kills, so we'll see what ends up happening as we go on to game 1 of Baron Besties versus Literal Monkeys.
Yeah, it is going to be the double teleport for both sides here, so nothing too unexpected. You're playing against Leona as Yomi on this Jinx, you do kind of really just need to have Cleanse. And this is something I think also kind of warps Leona in the draft especially, is just the fact that Barrier has been so good for these last few patches. It's just a matter of, like, Heal got nerfed, Ghost got nerfed, Barrier's in one of the best spots it's ever been, so a lot of AD carries are just running Barrier now, and being forced to take a laning phase where you're not running Barrier, it feels really bad when you're taking a 2v2, because yeah, you can cleanse away the Leona stun, but not having that extra, like, chunk of health, it just kind of sucks when you're in that laning phase.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I think bot at the very least should have a lot of action, and these are junglers that like to make action happen, so I could definitely see a lot of attention towards that bot side, especially since they're both starting on this top side. We'll see all the pathing towards that Leona and Nautilus focus.
Yeah, I think even with the AD carries being fairly late game scalers, junglers love seeing Leona and Nautilus, so they are going to be the ones that you play for. And as we mentioned in draft, it is going to be Moxie in the mid lane here and Pyrat up in that top side. This is something that the Baron Besties have done quite a few times over the course of their season. If you're in the Titan Esports Discord and you're paying attention to the Divinity League general chat, you can see there's some spice going on, some people calling out the decision-making from the Baron Besties to have these laners swap so often. I think I've heard some accusations of cheese here and there, but, you know, that's for the players to decide. That's not for me to make a note on.
You know, if something's cheese, that doesn't mean it's illegal. It just means, like, it's a kind of underhanded tactic. And if you want to win games, sometimes the underhanded tactic is the best tactic. We're going to see a nice E in here by Liv.
Yeah, just a nice little stun onto Pink Penguin. They're just going to get a bit of extra damage into that Nautilus before any sort of a defensive play can come out. I do also want to note that it is the Glacial Augment on Pink Penguin here on the Nautilus. It's not the Aftershock, and I think since Glacial Augment has been added in its current state, this really just has been like the two tank support runes. You go Aftershock or you go Glacial, depending on whether you want to be selfish or selfless.
Yeah, and I generally like the feeling of Glacial Augment. I think it really enhances Nautilus's unique ability to just walk up to someone and stun them, even though it's not that unique considering we have a Leona in this game.
Yeah, but Nautilus doesn't have to press 2 buttons to do it. He only has to press 1.
Exactly. See, he also can do it to multiple people as well, which is the real benefit. But yeah, I mean, so far no action at all, but it seems like Volibear actually is going to put some attention towards this river. Wants to get an early wraparound on bot here. Might be able to find it very early since, you know, the pacing here from the Sejuani is so late. This should be a free gank.
Pot of Greed not in the area, so now Liv and Releasin have to try and squirt themselves out of here. But Liv, he's the one who gets caught by that Nautilus hook, so they are going to be in trouble. I think gonna burn that flash. No Hex Flash on the Leona this time, but it is just going to be First Blood over to Singular Bread off of some nice pacing there, like you mentioned, in the jungle. Yeah,
nice pacing. We'll lose the Scuttle Crab, but you'll definitely take that. You're going to get your Jinx online just a little bit. The kill does go to the Volibear, but I'd actually generally like Volibear at least getting a couple kills early. Obviously, you want to transition eventually to get it off, but that's one of the tanks that definitely does benefit from a bit of extra gold, since the kill power is definitely there.
Yeah, especially if Volibear is going to be the one expending that flash, you get the advantage of Yomi and Ping Penguin holding onto those flashes, and again, Liv not having the Hex Flash means that this Leona is potentially very vulnerable to a gank, as we're going to get spotted out and cleared out by Marilies and Pot of Greed, but it means that Singular Bread will see the enemy jungler in the area and just give some information over to his team, as, hang on, to the top side, that was a solo kill that we just missed out on. Fendback and Pyrat going at it up there.
Yeah, this is what I mean, Set always a champion that does excel in the solo lane, but I will say this is all the result of Cassante nerfs over the years. Like, this champ is not as safe early on as he used to be. Definitely a champion that can be exploited before that level 6 does come through in a couple items, so nice to see it actually work out in the favor of Pyrat here, and did end up not burning any flash, so I'm pretty curious about how that actually happened, since both Set and Cassante have a flash still in their back pockets.
Yeah, I wonder if it was just Fenbosh trying to get away with a little bit of a dash or a path maker to try and move themselves out, but just didn't end up getting the distance, because the set Q does provide a little bit of extra attack range alongside that second auto, having even more attack range on top of that. It can be a deceptively ranged difficulty to play around versus the set matchup, especially in the top side. I think to the benefit of most top laners, we haven't seen a lot of Set recently, because when he's popular, he does just kind of beat everybody. He's a stat stick, you know?
Yeah, it is a stat stick, and you don't really see this champion much in pro play nowadays, just because it is a quite singular champion. You're just looking for the E slam jam into the ultimate there, but just not that popular since the stats just aren't there for the most part, but still worked out in their favor in this early game. Liv just going to trade out here.
Yeah, positioning a little aggressively for both of these supports, as they know their junglers are pathing down and on the way. And then top lane again! Pyrat shuts down the Cassante! Hard winning this topside matchup, and down to the bot side, Ping Penguin looking for an engaging onto Liv 1-2-2. Singular Bread is in the area, but so are Moxie and Pot of Greed. They gotta find a kill in this Leona fast if they want to be able to navigate themselves out of here. Singular Bread is gonna pick that one up, and now they're stuck in a 3v3. Moxie with that first rotate. Alfight still far away onto that Talia. Keep your eye on where that Weaver's Wall is gonna come from. Moxie is exhausted, but Ping Penguin is gonna get bursted down at Pyroclast and bouncing around, getting a lot of damage down. But the Sejuani is going to be the first one to go down for Baron Besties, and now it's the turnaround. Singular Bread living off the Triumph Frogs. It's a double kill for the Volibear. They'll donate one over to Yomi. Literal Monkeys come out ahead on the bottom side.
Yeah, the extra extended dual power of the Volibear paying off dividends there. Sejuani, after the Q is exchanged, just doesn't have anything. It's a 20-second cooldown, so really rough to actually go in there and not actually find the sticking kill there onto Jinx. So, yeah, nice use of their champ identities there, and we're already seeing a lot of action. And before the show started, we were talking about how both these teams like to fight a lot, and we're already seeing that in action. 8 kills in 7 minutes. Pretty impressive stuff.
Yeah, if I'm remembering my stats right, these two teams had some of the highest combined kills per minute of the league, and Singular Bread already with a completed item. You were talking earlier about Volibear getting online, getting some of these bruiser and tank items. That's a rod of ages in the inventory, which, we see often in top lane, but I'm not sure I've seen it a lot in jungle as Moxie has to be a little careful here. No level 6 available for Singular Bread, but it's just going to be the flick back with that seismic shove. Alfight getting some damage in, but do they have enough to finish off this brand, actually? Pot of Greed is going to come in, eat a little stun, but escort Moxie out of the way. Somehow the brand survives. The bottom side a little scuffle, but it's not going to come to much except, hang on, Ping Penguin He's gonna grab the barrier out of Marie Lee Sin at the very least.
Yeah, for some reason the Talia E wasn't online there to actually combo with the flip, so didn't have the damage to actually burst down Moxie, so gets away scot-free nonetheless, and they're just going to trade now Dragons and Grubs, the classic 1-2 here from both sides of the map, which is, you know, just leveraging the power of the Volley Bear. But I will say, this Volley Bear is going to get that extra level from the Roa at 17 minutes. Like, that is extremely early. That's when other champions are getting their 1.5 item spike, so expect this Volley Bear to be online for the rest of the game.
I do think this is one of the few scenarios where you can, like, validate going Rod of Ages first because you are so far ahead on this Volley Bear jungle. I think most of the time you want things like Dead Man's Plate or Iceborne Gauntlet, just these tank items that are going to help you gank a little bit faster, as Singular Bread is looking for an engage onto Pyrat. Does have the level 6 available if they want to just try and toss someone back, but they finally pop the Showstopper. The Haymaker already fully charged up, just waiting for Lab's opportunity to pop that shield. They're going to survive for a little bit, but all out from Fenbush. It's going to guarantee the kill. Singular Bread loses flash, but barely survives that final tower shot.
Yeah, just gonna get Cassante back in the game. This is the kind of jungling that you like to see, where it's like you're responding to what's actually happening in the map. You're not looking so singularly at what's happening. But I like this respect here from the bot lane of Literal Monkeys. They know that what just happened on the top side should mean a response on the opposite side. Gonna give that full respect. Yes, you lose a couple waves, but it's better than giving 600 gold to the enemy team. So I like that respect, since it doesn't get often shown in this elo. I'd say.
I think just the ability to recognize, like, hey, we don't have a jungler, we don't have a mid laner here, they're rotating down, they're already in lane, we just gotta back off and leave it alone. Like you said, it's better to just give up a few waves than give up the 600 gold from the dive, and then also a few more waves for the chance of getting maybe a kill back. It's never a great luck.
Yeah, especially when it's 4v2. Sometimes if you know your champions extremely well, you can maybe pull off a 2v3. But with the man advantage going the way of with the brand as well, I'd say it's too guaranteed of a setup, especially with Sejuani at that level 6. So yeah, wise of them for sure.
Yeah, it is gonna net Literal Monkeys about a 1,500 gold lead this early on into the game. A big showing for them, as I'll fight maybe baiting a little bit here. Pink Penguin looking for the hook over the wall, doesn't manage to find it on Moxie. A little bit of nice movement there from the brand, but I think we're starting to get a little bit of time to breathe. We've dipped under 1 kill a minute. The objectives have been traded over. And I did want to say, for Literal Monkeys, I don't think the grubs themselves are that important. But I think what is important for them is keeping the grubs away from this set, because that is going to be a Blade of the Ruin King first item, and that champion will delete towers if you give him any Void Mites.
Yeah, and I do actually like... There's a bunch of scenarios where I just don't like, you know, set with a Bork, but I think this is okay, because anyways you're not running at a Talia Jinx even as a tank set, so I think it's completely fine to just go a little bit more damage. I do hope indexes a bit of resistances after this Bork does get completed though, but we'll see if that ends up happening. Pot of Greed in a bad position, Singular Bread getting the slow, but it's going to get canceled.
But does get stunned. There's a nice little seismic shove from Malphite, and goodbye Pot of Greed, munched down by the wall here.
I mean, this bear is everywhere, to be honest. Just completely roaming bear. I don't know how to... I need to figure out with a rhyme before this game is over, but it really feels omnipresent at this point.
It's on the bottom side. Level 6 is available for the Baron Besties bottom side, but Pink Penguin still in level 5. The Exhaust Burn and the Flash loss from Pink Penguin. Liv trying to get a bit more aggressive on Yomi, but just not enough of a lethal angle there. So they'll take the Summoner advantage and be happy with it. As Pyrat and Fenbatch trading in the top side. Yeah, it's not going to get any nicer for Cassante here. It's only going to get rougher.
Yeah, I think this is one of the few windows where you can actually look for a kill before the set has the Bork online. So I would say go for it right now, because you're never going to get another opportunity.
He's available. A nice little sidestep away from that Haymaker. And in the meantime, you see Singular Red on the bottom side of your screen. It's starting to pick up those grubs. Now Fenbatch looking for the way in. A nice unstoppable away. And it's just a free solo kill for the Cassante.
Yeah, there you go. That's the exact window you would want to actually go for the kill there. Denying the Haymaker there is crucial, and then finds the damage before Set's even out of the animation. And this is going to secure them another free set of grubs. So they're going to get 6 online. That's 2 Void Mites per wave. And now the team that doesn't look like they kill turrets that well is going to be definitely a threat. Nonetheless, I mean, it's not like they had bad turret killing or sieging, since they did have the Jinx at the very least, but now it's really bolstered. Moxie, bad spot.
What magic shove from all fight. Think of Brandon using that Stormbreaker just to guarantee there's no escape, and Donut's the kill over to his mid laner. What a good guy, jungler.
Yeah, Singular Bread really making this game so tough here for Baron Besties, but a huge flick there from Alphaite. Is going to find it, and now they're going to turn their attention towards this dragon, secure both the grubs and the dragon in this set of objectives, and yeah, you can't really ask for more. Senior Bread doing it all. Pot of Greed kind of behind on tempo, and I think this, I'm kind of reminded the last time we watched Baron Besties, where it was a little bit tough for Pot of Greed in particular. I remember the Amumu, which was like a very tough game there, where they couldn't really get online, and it seems like when this team succeeds, the Pot of Greed actually does find some tempo in it, but now it's even tougher since Fenbach is also winning in the top side. So I'd say Baron Besties is at the very back foot in this game.
Yeah, they do have, I think, some champions that I would describe as pretty damn strong in the meta currently. Like we mentioned, the Leona and Draft brand is still very, very strong. Has that one item now, is going to be a lot bigger of a force in mid lane, has to be respected. And when Zeri has that Zeri pop-off moment, you truly never can count out the team that has her. So I don't think Baron Besties are out of it just yet, but they are stuck deep up a creek right now, and they don't have a paddle to their name. They're just trying to, like, carve one out of a stick they found, flowing down the river with them.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of brutal. 5K at this almost 15 minutes into the game. This is I don't know if anyone else watched the LEC finals, but it's gonna need to be throws like Fnatic if they're gonna actually be able to come back into this game for Baron Besties.
Don't remind me. What a... You know what? I don't ever want to hear any EU player say that NA is worse, because at the very least, we have never had one of our teams throw 3 over 5,000 gold leads in a single series. That's genuinely insane.
Yeah, that was... I mean, I haven't watched much LEC this season, and that makes me glad. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. Either way, thankfully, we're not watching the LEC. We're watching a much better region, the Titan Esports Divinity
Yeah, so obviously, because of that, Literal Monkeys is going to close this out, like, never drop any gold. All the kills are going to go their way.
Oh, 100%, yeah.
I'm not cursing anything at all,
They're going to punish every single mistake that Baron Besties makes, and Baron Besties is just not going to be able to punish any mistakes, because Monkeys aren't going to make any of them. They're just a perfect team, but enough of that, as it is going to be a little trade-off here on the top side. Nice little punch there from Pyrak getting that haymaker off, but we're starting to get to the point in the game where Cassante might just be too tanky for set. This Iceborne Gauntlet is making trades very, very difficult for Pyrak here.
And a crucial buy early on the Bramble Vest is going to make trading even harder even with the Bork, I'd say, since you don't have like any flat damage. Like, Divine Sunder isn't in the game, so you can't just like, poke someone and get most of your HP back. There is still the Sundered Sky, but I really don't think this is the game for it. It wouldn't be terrible, but I think I'd like to see a bit more direct tankiness rather than the Sundered Sky.
Maybe a Black Cleaver so your Zeri can get a little bit more damage. Maybe a Scarax Gauge so you have some tenacity in the face of the Nautilus and the Volibear that are going to be coming after you. But right now, I think we're at that Cassante power point where he can kind of just run the game however he wants. It's going to be Herald Charge in the mid lane here. This tower is going to go bye for the Literal Monkeys, picking up their first turn of the game, actually. It's a bit slower than I wanted it to be, as
King Penguin is confused. Rotate. Straight to bot.
I think maybe looking at the top lane, but the team called for the rotate to bot. The Herald will get there. I hope he's not going to crash into any walls, but no charge into the turret at the very least. We're not watching an LPL jungler here.
I definitely thought about it, though, for sure, if the top lane was a bit more available. Pot of Greed in a bad spot.
Potentially getting caught out here, but they're still playing Sejuani, so very, very tanky. A little bit difficult to actually catch out, but the wave is in kind of an awkward spot. I think Literal Monkeys did want to push for this tower, but the wave seek just not perfect, and nobody went back to clear it out and push it up, so it gives Baron Besties time to rotate over and clear out this wave and keep their bottom lane turret alive.
It looks like they're posturing for a bit of a fight. So they do have Talia wall that could do a huge split here on the map,
Oh,
so we'll
Pot of
see.
Greed. Oh, Pot of Greed maybe has overstepped their bounds. Is going to get flicked back. That seismic shove, beautiful from all flight. Flash away from Pot of Greed, but Seeking the Bread wants to follow up. The exhaust comes down, but they're already dead. Seeking the Bread's going to go dominating on the volley there. Now it's looking for more. All Fight still walking forward, happily just throwing rocks at the enemy team. Foxy goes down. Seeking the Bread holding on to that Stormberg. Can maybe get on Maria's in, but with the crash down, they don't want to go too hard. Pyrat flashing over the wall, maybe looking for an angle here, but all the members of Little Monkeys just a little bit too far away. He can't get in range for the showstopper. Literal Monkeys with an excellently executed team.
Yeah, it's just so hard for them to actually get onto this Little Monkeys comp since it is the volley bear that is so strong, and then you have to walk through Talia, worked ground, as well as, you know, just Jinx E, Jinx W. These things are not easy to get through, and Set is not a champion that is strong when, you know, you can't find a big flank or have other entry points in these fights. So having Sejuani go down so early is pretty crucial there for Baron Besties.
With all the money that Literal Monkeys has, Seeking the Bread is just feasting. This is probably the richest that any jungler has been this season. 2 items pre-20 minutes? Roa fully stacked, Namori Quick Blades in inventory? This feels unheard of in the 2024 season. What is this?
Yeah, highest gold in the game on the jungler there, Singular Bread making it happen. Yeah, pretty impressive stuff. But you know, I think another notable one is the top lane, 1,000 gold towards the Cassante, really kind of, you know, making the difference. I think in as far as side laning is concerned, since the Set should be the one advantaged here. You know, considering how the early game went, 2 solo kills went the way of the Set, but 1 trade kill here from Singular Bread really just turns the tide, and then the rest is history.
Yeah, and now we can start opening up those copy pastas because Cassante is a champion in the game that has 400 armor, 200 magic resist, 5,000 health, yada yada yada. You all know how it is. Cassante very, very good. I do wonder if we're going to see any sort of Cassante Penta as, you know, nice little flip back on the Pyrat here for all fight, but it's set, so he should just be able to sustain out any of the poke with the combination of work plus passive, so no real danger there.
Yeah, but this turret will fall the way of Literal Monkeys, and so far, since I've tried to curse them, they have not made any big mistakes.
Pot of Greed, maybe in trouble, is going to get blast code over the wall, thanks to Ping Penguin there. So they will manage to escape, but yeah, this game just feels like it doesn't feel like we're watching, hang on, top side.
Another one.
Spin batch again on this Cassante, an absolute demon.
Oh, overstay though.
Maybe getting punished here. Marie-Lee should just be able to finish this one out. One more auto to the back, shut down the tank man. But yeah, this does not really particularly feel like a 4th and 5th place team matchup. I mentioned at the beginning of the day that, like, I was pretty confident it was going to be Monkeys 2-0. I think they're scaling up, and Baron Besties have hit kind of a plateau, but I don't think I was expecting this kind of a performance here in game number 1. Yeesh.
Yeah, you know, I'm not usually someone who turncoats, but I might have to. You know, that's just how it goes. It is only game 1, but like the things I've seen means maybe the conduit, maybe conduit was the real flukes in that one loss that they had to Baron Besties is what I'm thinking.
Maybe conduits were the fraud all along, but we'll have a bit of time to wait and see. There is still an opportunity for Baron Besties to make a comeback here. It is 8,000 gold at 20 minutes, which is a rough gold lead to play against, but there's objective bounties up for the Baron Besties. They have opportunities to try and find some standing gold on the map. All the outer turrets are still available, so if they can find some cross-map plays, if they can make something happen, there's avenues back into the game for them.
They're just going to start the Baron. They have no idea that this is happening, but it looks like they are going to make their way over. As now...
Yeah, but Releasin has recalled, so if they're going to fight, this is going to be a 4v5 without their 80 carry who just hit those 2 items. Bearing down to 5,500. Fenbach looking for a way in, is going to get the stun down on to the Leona, who just absolutely cannot move this whole fight, but it's going to be a 1-for-1 trade. The showstopper into the back from Fire at Baron Besties have blown up the Monkeys out of their lead. Marie-Lee Sin is free-firing these shots away. Doesn't do enough damage on this area yet to get any extra kills, but it's a huge turnaround for Baron Besties. Hang on, they might have overstayed. I might have called it too soon. Yomi's going to start getting resets and start getting excited. Pyrat looking for a haymaker. Gets some nice damage on the Yomi, but can't knock them out. But it's a great Baron defense by the Besties. They'll save their best friend.
Yeah, that was a huge fight there. There's one rule if you're ever playing against Brand, and it's don't group up. They get combo stunned on top of each other while the Brand passives are blowing up, and you know, they got blown up as a result. A little bit of an overextension there from Moxie at the end is going to at least trade the kills over and make sure that they can't go for the Baron at the very end, so overheating just a little bit, but that fight was disastrous.
Yeah, for a team with this much of a gold lead at this point in the game, that is not a fight that you should ever be losing, and it's going to net an extra 2,000 over to Baron Besties, so only 6,000 in the hole. And like I said, they're not out of it yet. They have avenues back, and punishing the literal monkeys on plays like that, where they're getting a little cocky, getting a little bit overzealous, trying to force plays that don't need to happen, that's exactly how they're going to do it.
Yeah, Singular Bread's going to try and find Pyrat here. Nice flash away. Show the respect that this Volley Bear is due. I think one thing to note is that Marie Leeson is caught up pretty much fully gold-wise to the rest.
Yomi, out of position without a cleanse, absolutely locked down. Liv is going to steal that kill away, but it's still gold over to the Baron Besties and a nice punish.
What are you doing there? You're just in the middle of the Baron pit for no reason. Now Singular Bread's going to get flash forced away. Liv now in a bad position.
Manages to get the flash out of all fight, and Baron Besties playing not like their gold lead would imply, but they're coming back huge here. This is more of the fight back that I think we were expecting from this series. And now, Baron Besties are going to have priority over the pit. Yomi's not up for 10, so they'll be here when it spawns, but at the very least for Baron Besties, they're going to be able to net themselves some vision control over the area.
Yeah, they don't have any idea where Singular Bread is until just now, so at least they know the jungler is in the area, but midwave is getting cut, so this should give a big opportunity for Little Monkeys to at least deny some gold. But Baron Bestie said they don't care, they don't want to deny, they don't want to allow this dragon to go over. They're gonna look for an engage.
Looking for an engage, but it's on to Fenbot, but it's giving Pyrat the advantage in the backline. Maybe not one he wants to take. He gets a nice showstopper out of that backline with a haymaker, but All Fight's gonna go on a rampage, and now Singular Bread rampaging through the enemy backline, trying to get some damage down. It's a nice two-man seismic shove from All Fight, and the Baron Besties get decimated by the monkeys in the river.
Finally, they find the conditions to make that win. Sejuani a little bit too far forward to start that fight. Also set, you know, this is a Bork set. You can't be diving like that. You should play a bit more peel-wise. I'd actually even suggest you try and knock someone back into your own team in this particular scenario. I think that's a more optimal condition. Obviously not so easy, but yeah, definitely not optimal there on the fight. And, you know, this was what you expect from a fight with an 8k gold lead, so yeah, nice to see you there.
Gold point, it's going to net them Baron. There's nobody in range to steal, no globals that can come through. It's just Yomi securing that objective for the squad. And for as much as we've talked about Singular Bread and how well they've been playing, All Fight on this Talia has been absolutely disgusting. 5-0-7, 12 out of 19 KP. Every seismic shove that we've seen on screen has been impactful in one way or another. It's forced a flash, it's forced a kill, it's forced a team fight win. It's just an incredible performance from them in the mid lane.
Yeah, I'd say that as well. These shoves have shown a certain level of prowess that, you know, you can only expect from someone who's played a champion a lot. And yeah, definitely demonstrating it well. But now they're going to look to corral Baron Besties. With the help of this Baron, they need to make sure that they push out these waves and get things synced. But a nice split here. They have the Cassante in the bot side, so they're already coordinating these waves. Someone is going to need to answer, and it looks like it's going to be set. But Moxie to that spot.
Moxie overstepped with no flash. Singular Bread is going to be the claimant on that one. And now, with a lot of their wave clear taken away, they do have that static shift from Marie Leeson, but into the Baron off the waves, it's just not going to do as much as a Brand would. So now Pyrat is forced to come back, and Literal Monkeys are just going to start ripping open the base here for Baron Besties, claiming every single inch and every single gold coin that they can grab out of these turrets, and immediately start rotating over to the bottom side. This is just great macro here from the Monkeys. Nicely played.
Yeah, well played here, and also they have the grubs, so and these get Baron empowered as well, so they actually take 2 turret shots each. Now with the Baron buff, and that is just so much extra.
Potential engage, Pot of Greed getting caught out. The depth charge is on to Marie Leeson if they can find any sort of engage. So Cassante, though, wanting to find that angle onto Liv 122, they're going to force the flash out of it. Singular Bread is going to get that Stormbreaker onto the backline to disable that turret, but it already does not matter. 10 block on the Cassante is absolutely playing Cassante in this game. Number 1, All Fight's gonna go dominating. Anything was gonna grab a hook on the Moxie, but we will shut down that Brand, and a nice little AoE heal from the Cryptic Blue will keep the whole team alive. It's a triple kill for All Fight, and in decisive 27-minute fashion, Literal Monkeys take game 1.
Yeah, Literal Monkeys playing it well enough to actually secure that win, and that is well played there, and I'd say pretty clean nonetheless, despite that one fight in the in the Baron pit. You know, we do ignore that one. I think besides that, it was pretty dominant there. It definitely helps when your Volibear has 4 kills at 3 minutes or 4 minutes, something like that. So, you know, that definitely works out in their favor. But they showed that they could clean snowball a game for the most part, and yeah, you have to be encouraged by that kind of gameplay.
Yeah, and I think for Baron Besties, it's kind of a wake-up call. You're still technically in reach of that top 4, but this is your competition. You've already beaten Conduit Esports Phoenix. We know you are a capable team, but this game did not look close. If the Baron Besties want to come back in games 2 and 3 and want to find themselves a win, they were really going to have to wake up and start playing at their peak.
Yeah, I would say overall, I don't think most of the players on Baron Besties played poorly. For instance, I think it was a lot of just team play, which was a criticism I had of them, you know, 4 weeks ago when we cast them last. I think they still haven't kind of worked on what identity they're playing through. Are they playing through bot? You know, they're picking these hyper-scaling 80 carries. The Zeri didn't really get too much action. I mean, yeah, there was a bit of a disaster on that bot side. That is how that goes, but really, Mary Leeson was, I think, couldn't really do much on what was given as far as ADC is concerned, and you know, it really comes down to, you know, finding some sort of leeway somewhere. Moxie wasn't really able to find anything, but I already said that matchup was going to be hard, and it makes sense that it did turn out that way. So I'd say you have a lot of adaptation going into game 2. I think, you know, change up something. You either pick an even more dominant top laner and play through that, or you know, maybe look for a more aggressive mid laner that doesn't just you know, neutralize lanes.
Yeah, we'll have to see what the Baron Besties want to do to try and stay alive here in week number 8 up against the Literal Monkeys. We're going to take a short break while we get ourselves into the draft for that game number 2. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
notice my own silhouette. I'm getting stronger, step by step. The clock is ticking, but there's no time for regrets. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe trying to protect your soul. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Yeah. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Feel like a dynamite, ready to explode right up in the sky. I need you to listen, I need you to hear, and don't show any fear. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe trying to protect your soul. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Yeah. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe trying to protect your soul.
Welcome back to our coverage of the Titan Esports Divinity League. It's week 8, and we are here with game number 2 between Literal Monkeys and the Baron Besties after a slobber knocker of a game number 1 that Literal Monkeys ended up taking home.
Yeah, just a complete mollywhopping in the first game for Little Monkeys here.
How else do you describe it, truly?
Yeah, exactly. And the Baron Besties going to have to pick themselves back up coming into this game, too. Pretty curious to see what they end up drafting since, I wouldn't say it was a draft issue, but they definitely did not give themselves that many easy openings. Set has to dominate that lane. Brand has to survive because you can't match the roaming power of a Talia. And then, all the other pieces just kind of play themselves, whether you're ahead or whether you're behind. So it really just came down to those two. And I feel like it wasn't the easiest conditions nonetheless.
Yeah, there's oftentimes, I think, in Divinity League where we see teams just really not make it easy for themselves with the particular champions that they pick or the way that they play them out in game. So for Baron Besties, I do really want to see them make it a little bit easier for themselves. They have a lot of good components there. The Sejuani-Leona combo, fantastic. If you pair that up with I'd say more consistent AD solo laner, maybe a Renekton up there in the top side as opposed to that set, someone who can be a little bit more influential even if they are behind. Maybe this works out better for the Baron Besties, but we're going to have to see as we hop into draft for game number 2. But before we hop into that draft, I do want to talk about our sponsor tonight, an incredible tool for any League of Legends player out there. It is ProComps. ProComps is your personal draft coach with features like custom champion pools, personalized tier lists, and live draft advice, all wrapped up into one handy app. It's like having a virtual coach helping you out while you draft, offering real-time pick and ban recommendations with well over 200,000 downloads and thousands of daily users just like you. It's a no-brainer to at least give it a try. And the best part, it's 100% free. You can download ProComps now and you'll experience a whole new level of drafting power in your games. You can go to procomps.gg, download it from Overwolf, or click on the panel located below our stream for more information. Yeah,
definitely check it out. But that's going to be us going into draft right now. Baron Besties need to make it happen if they want to extend this series to that 3-game mark. But Little Monkeys, dominant performance in game 1. Now swapping at least, they're going to go on that blue side. They thought priority picks definitely need to land their way, so they're going to make sure to grab up something good. Obviously, Yuumi is Aurora, so don't get it twisted. Ivern, another champion that constantly gets banned, so I like to see that as well.
You know what? Honestly, thank goodness that not Yuumi. My own brain is getting confused. Thank goodness that Aurora is getting banned because I still haven't memorized those ability names fully. I know there's Twofold Hex and Between Worlds.
Between Worlds is the ult. That's all I know.
That's pretty much all I know, and I'm hoping that I can memorize her a little bit more in the future before she starts getting too heavily picked in competitive, but we do have the rest of the bans coming through. Olaf and Cassio. So I think for both sides, actually, the bans staying exactly the same here. No change on both sides. Now, I wonder what the priority is for Baron Besties. Jinx was that first pick for Literal Monkeys in this game number 1. So I wonder if it's just going to be pick away. Do they still have priority on the Zeri that they had in that game 1? What are the options? It's going to be the Sejuani. Okay.
Sejuani's pretty interesting considering they still got it last game anyways. Did not matter at all what order they did. So it's kind of funny to you swap sides, you first pick something you had in the last game, you generally want to switch that blue side for something else. And this is going to be Yomi's Caitlyn, the highest play rate as far as Yomi's solo queue records show. So pretty good stuff there, and this champ should provide a bit more dominant of a performance here. Leona, a classic combo. There's no displacement in her kit, so it's very easy to place down those traps on top of the stun targets. So I'd say that's a pretty good combo nonetheless, and should provide at least a bit of stability that, usually Caitlyn, lane dominant, you want to have a bit of range, but having Leona is definitely one of the more premier engaged supports. But Hui going to be locked in here for the Pyrat, it seems. Very strong champion, got banned out in phase 2 of last game, wants to pick it up here. We talked about lane neutralizers like Brand. Brand, yes, can lane neutralize, but really he's a teamfight threat that can neutralize some lanes, but when you get outranged, it's pretty tough. There's no outranging a Hui. That's just how it is.
Absolutely not.
So definitely just going to be able to stand strong in the mid lane and should provide a bit of stability that they lacked in the last game.
Yeah, a much different priority here, I think, for Baron Besties in this game number 2. No AD carry being locked away, so it is going to allow the Monkeys to ban away the Ashe and the Zeri, I assume, for their side, just going up against this Braum. I wonder if there's any possibility that they send that Hui down the bot lane. I don't think you would want to pair it with Braum in particular, but you could get yourself a double AD solo laner to negate some of the want for possible Mercury treads for anybody on Literal Monkeys, it's doable. I don't think it's likely, and I don't think it's that good, but I think it would be a pretty interesting change up in the draft.
I will say if they do flex the Hui to the bot, there's no killing a Hui Braum as Caitlyn Leona. So you can basically discount that lane as completely bust in that way. But since they did ban Ahri again, and Hui does do a little bit poorly into
Wait,
Hui.
Did they ban Ahri after the Victor was picked up?
They did ban the Ahri, which is it was interesting to me. But I
didn't put that together until now. But yeah, that's an interesting ban. I wonder if they think it's something like a Victor top, but for the Baron Besties, it is going to be the Hui in the mid lane, and it's going to be that set again in the top side. It doesn't have to match with the Cassante this time around, as it was banned away by the Besties for that second phase. So I wonder...
Oh,
yes! Yes!
Malphite finally getting picked up here for Fenbach. A believer in this champion. Moxie going to be once again flexed towards that mid lane as well. Looks like on that Hui. So set Pyrat versus Fenbach. Round 2. Beefy Boy versus Punchy Boy.
It's going to be a rough laning phase for Malphite. Real talk, he's going to build armor, but Set is still going to have that percentage health damage on his knuckle down. It's going to be a little bit difficult. But once you get out of the laning phase, you have Leona plus Volibear plus Malphite for your engage. The most disgusting, simple, point-and-click, easiest to engage I have ever seen. You're going to press 2 buttons, and the enemy team is going to be stunned, knocked up, knocked down, and wipe.
Yeah. I will say they are playing Caitlyn a bit more of a single target type AD carry, so gonna need to still whittle away at those health bars even with the setup on those engages. So, you know, given Baron Besties can maybe get a bit of a lead using the leverage on that set and Kai'Sa lanes, you know, Kai'Sa definitely not the best champion to Caitlyn, but if the jungler shows early attention, definitely can make something happen there, and that's the kind of matchup that could end up, you know, if they get ahead enough, they should be able to stave off the engage and maybe survive past it and really deny a lot of the pressure that would be supplied by that, you know, I don't even know, meatball comp?
Yeah, I think the name of the game here for Baron Besties is survive. Whether it is in this game against the Engage from Literal Monkeys or in this series trying to keep their 4th place playoff hopes alive. It is going to be a bit of a tough matchup, I think, here if this game goes anything like game number 1.
Yeah, they're just looking to, you know, keep it standard 5-point yet again, but Singular Bread on the Volibear is going to be the real call out yet again since, I mean, I think we all saw what happened in game 3, or game 1. I don't really have to describe what actually occurred.
It was what, a 6-minute, 7-minute Rod of Aegis for Singular Bread? I think if Baron Besties can stop that from happening again, they're in a much better spot in the early game, and I think they have a composition that is, as I was talking about pre-draft, a little bit easier to pilot. You don't have the Leona, but you have a Grasp set this time around for the Pyrat, so not as focused on the 1v1 laning. You also have Hui, who is just a teamfight monster. Kai'Sa for Marie Lucin, not running the cleanse, I think, importantly, up against this Leona and Volibear, which I think could be very, very dangerous coming into team fights.
Yeah, I mean, it's not going to be so easy here for Baron Besties. You know, I do think at least the Hui allows them a bit more space on the roam. Pink Penguin might look for an engage here. They are cutting the wave. Just going to walk up, get the Q down.
It's just on to live, and they're going to get a stun in return. So Pink Penguin's actually going to lose about half their HP there. The Glacial Augment means that last auto doesn't come through Marie Lucin, just canceling that last auto opportunity. So Pink Penguin will survive at around half HP, but not the best level 1, I think, for the Leona side of that matchup.
Yeah, a little bit brave to walk straight into the face of a Braum, I think, level 1. That champ is exceedingly good. Moxie just going to look for the combo. Nice damage here. Going to chuck out about a quarter of their HP there. And that's kind of what you expect from the Hui, and doesn't really. There's no point in the game where I'm saying Hui is just useless. Besides maybe level 5, not the strongest, but like after that point, you know, always a threat as long as the pilot is doing Hui things. So we'll see if Moxie can really demonstrate that power.
Yeah, I think there is a lot of emphasis on Moxie here in this game. Doesn't manage to find that fear onto Singular Bread, who's at it again. Lightning crash down to the ground. First blood to the bear once again.
Yeah, and I guess Little Monkeys had the same exact idea. the Hui is going to be the focus, and they just immediately jump on it. Singular Bread is just so on point finding these early game ganks, and once again going to come out to an early 1-kill lead here. I hope it doesn't extend back over to that 3 kills yet again, but it's not gonna look very pretty even if it doesn't come through, so.
Yeah, and this is when I think I have to start questioning in that draft phase a little bit, because Literal Monkeys didn't pick this Volibear up until 4th pick. There was time for Baron Besties to either pick the Volibear away, maybe give it to Pyrat or Moxie up there in the top side, or to ban it out on that second phase, but they opted for other bans instead, and it means that Singular Bread gets this very obvious, very easy to pilot and execute on Comfort Champion for himself again.
Yeah, and you know, you just think back to the Ahri ban, what could have been, but they're just going to leave it open, and the Volibear is still going to have a bit of a hard time getting in as far as going past, but you know, you have the Malphite, you have the Leona, this is set up that does make it easy, and if the Volibear gets ahead again, they will have the damage to be able to stack on top. See, my analogy earlier where I was saying they might not have the damage to fully burst out the Kaisa Hui Sejuani, you know, that only exists if the Volibear doesn't get exceedingly ahead again.
Pot agreed. Maybe in trouble here. Has to lose that flash into the gravity well, so will it manage to survive? But again, it's Singular Bread running this map thanks to some early priority on those laners, and again, just the ease of execution on Volibear. You walk up, you press your Q button, they're gonna get stunned, they're gonna eat a lot of damage, and you're gonna start to run ahead of them. Yeah,
and you can't really interrupt Volibear at all unless you like just lock him down and kill him immediately. Obviously, anytime he gets stunned while running at you with Q, that's a cooldown reset. So, you know, Volibear extremely good at chasing, at least, and these champs do have those slight interrupts that would trigger that passive to actually be utilized. So, I think it's going to be pretty scary here as Volibear does keep scaling. Roa in the eyes there.
Yeah, I don't know about Roa when you aren't this far ahead this early on. It is one of those items that takes a while to stack up in efficacy, so it will net Singular Bread some more usefulness, I think, in the late game, that extra level that we talked about being a really important thing for junglers. But I also just want to say, like, there are other cheaper items, other better tank items for these tankier, gank-focused junglers that could be gone for. Zeke's Herald, probably not the best on Volibear, but still an option. Warmogs was nerfed, but it's still not bad. You have the Dead Man's Plate if you want to just be sprinting to lanes. There's other options we'll have to see without as much of an early gold lead if Singular Bread can make this Roa build work again.
I generally do think it is the strongest build that Volibear has, but yeah, it is definitely very 1v1 focused in particular, so gonna make sure that they do find something here. You know, nice roam here. Pink Penguin got nothing else to do in the bot side since the lane is frozen, and this should at least get Kaisa back in the game a bit. There was a bit of a CS mounting.
He's going to get 4 stars here to Red, and he's looking for some influence on this on Roa. Restricting policies that can drag a little bit covered by the wards on your screen currently. Very easy to respond by the Zenith Blade, now being in trouble. Lots of sun on fight all the way as well. Pottery, stunned down and
yeah, pretty well executed there. No, it's just plant the trap, and now you gotta get payment there for Pink Penguin.
Yeah, there's some technical issues going on one side or another. I'm not sure if that's on mine or on somebody else's, but now it is the only down the one in trouble. Exhausted on the bottom side. I'm going to start getting a little bit of crowd control. Nice cleanse away, though, so should be able to just walk away from the place on.
Yeah, there's been popping on the mic, so, you know, unfortunately, if it's too much to bear, just mute the stream for just a little bit. Maybe we'll get it in just a little bit, but yeah, either way, pretty good start here for Literal Monkeys as they're going to keep rolling that 1.5k gold lead here. So, yeah.
Yeah, now
looks here, Baron Besties.
Yeah, it eases the monkeys up 0-2. They've got about that gold lead. It's a much slower game this time around. It's not as much blood. I think just over a minute as this time last game. So you've got a bit of extra time to just chill out, relax a little bit. But it's a very similar match. I didn't with Pyrat going for the grasp as opposed to the PTA or the Conqueror that I think they brought in game number 1. It was one of those yellow rooms, but it's going to be more relaxed coming into this game number 2, and a little bit more time to scale for the set, a little bit more of that bruiser build that I think we were hoping for in that game 1.
Yeah, Striker definitely something that is useful. Could also be Cleaver, I guess. Wait, does Cleaver still build up page?
Yes, because it has to move into this house. Yes, it does.
Yeah. So that could also be a possibility. I don't know if we'll see it, but those are my options. So.
Yeah, just a little bit of time here to breathe. I see that it's going to be I think it would be the good call. I think Trevor is also a possibility if Iron wants to build more for a 1v1. But that's a little bit of extra time to think through that out for now. The extra dagger inventory, assuming if Iron isn't going to go for others, it's probably going to be a try for us. Yeah. Now it's just, slowing it down. I think they'll have a big opportunity. But could extend this. Not going to actually commit that. Mainly there. Find something ping. And on the bottom side, almost 6 and Liv's going to get this, but it's going to take a little more. It's going to down 1, 2. You see that after the expedition now. You'll be stuck at 1 versus 2. Down. It's that barrier versus that cleanse match up ahead. You just don't have the 16 to keep going to see your red. You can go can live the extra Yeah, that's pretty tough. They definitely had an opportunity to find something, especially with how far forward Ping was in that last fight. And nice turnaround here, seeing Red always on time as it goes. So yeah, as I said, if anyone's having audio issues, I'm sorry. Just mute the stream. It is definitely hard to listen to. So. Yeah, I think it might be just from one of our servers in the back, just making sure that everything's going to be working fine. For now, we'll get it figured out as the game goes on, but for now, we've got a bit of extra time here. We're just across that end of our first dragon. We're a little more monkeys, first drops over to monkeys as well. It's looking good for them again in this series. Ribbon is going to take game 1, if not just a bit slowed down. Yeah, but I mean, having the Bear already be so ahead, Rota is going to come in about 9 minutes in. I flash over here, Penguin went for the engage. So let's have those things on the honest. No, so look at the is the card. There's spend match. We engage on the backline. Box only 1 HP. So Alpha will find it. That is like the Spire Despair won't find enough. It's just be pretty double. All play. Penblock will go down as Marine Sim fight with that complete Seagram smash auto, but it's just another big team fight win for the Monkeys once more. Yeah, that's big. I mean, I wouldn't say Moxie actually got away, but got hit by the red buff and went down, which was pretty tough there, since, Wei doesn't really need to be in the area, so actually getting down at the very end by that red buff was pretty unfortunate. Seeing Red wants to claim up these grubs, but Irat kind of preventing that effort. And, yeah, this is looking more of the same from last game. 3K gold lead here for Literal Monkeys, kind of making it happen. Baron Besties needs to find something. At least Kaisa did get a bunch of gold in those last 2 fights, so it means that they will have some foothold in this game. But they need to play towards it more if they want to stay alive. It's unfortunate the play is going to not be that big of a factor now. 0-2-1 and. Alpha obviously 4-0-1 already has the first item completed, completely accelerated on the Victor, is going to make that transition to that mid game even stronger. Yeah, and I think especially the Victor being the kind of sad state champion in the mid lane, getting him ahead and getting him some extra gold does feel really good. I don't know how I particularly feel about the burn build with the Blackfire Torch in this game, but in all honesty, for me, I just don't really know what you build first item nowadays. I think Luden's Companion's not in a great spot. If you can't abuse Horizon Focus, you're not really building it. More often than not, you want to be getting an item with Lost Chapter in it, so maybe Blackfire Torch is just good enough in that regard. Yeah, now they're just going to be, trying to show me about the outside. They at least force them out, but they are collapsing towards bot. Trouble, potentially engage onto Penguin. Now the teleport's going to come through. Glacial Person's going to go wide. I'll fight Moxie, trying to find a trade regardless. So Moxie, one last hit from the Chaos Storm will make it a 1-for-1, and now Team Penguin trying to engage down onto 1-2-2. Glacial Fissure shooting them alive, but he's also down. He's trying to keep on alive. Now there's that outplay slam it into the two members of Eric Besties. The back line, but just continues walking forward with autos. Yeah, Red Wind just sideline skill away. And it's looking good for our monkeys again.
Yeah. There you go. You know, monkeys making it happen. Yeah, this is gonna be more of the same. So they are gonna at least grapple up for this dragon now, as you know, it's gonna be another dominant game. I'd say 3K gold lead now. Yeah, I mean, can't really say much besides that. I think they're showing it well, and they're showing how easy the execution is for these comps.
Yeah, like I said, like I have been saying for months now, AD compositions are the way to go. Who does good into AD compositions? It's goddamn mouth fight. This champion is just so easy to execute on. I know there are top laners that are like, oh, it's kind of boring. I don't like playing it. It's just so slow and so lame. No, just play the champion that's gonna win. He's just too good right now.
Yeah. I mean, this is showing your case very well. I think the mouth fight's working out well. Already 0-1 forces. Really hasn't found anything in this top side.
Yeah, I think importantly, not just yes, as Unbox has been in team fights and has made plays happen for the team, and we just haven't seen her have any influence in the end yet. It's just been a lost for work against this set once again.
Yeah, I mean, this is why you gotta just pick it. I feel like, you know, you pick a set, you want to lane dominate. Yeah, you can find some solo kills, but it's not gonna be the most consistent thing in the world, and you really want to put some jungle attention. But you know, Singular Bread is always so fast to these different points of contention that you know it gets kind of dicey. That, you know, Pot of Greed always feel like on the back step, and since Singular Bread doesn't really put too much attention towards top side, it doesn't really mean that Pot of Greed is going to end up in that side anyways.
Yeah, Pot of Greed, I think, has been kind of trying to bail out mid and bot lane here. As Penguin has to actually use that flash in this mid lane scuffle, a little bit out of position on Leona face checking. For now it's just going to take a little bit of extra time. Maybe doesn't have to unstoppable. Honestly, he's gonna get it on the Greed. They're gonna look for some kind of engage off the back of it. But Singular Bread maybe a little bit overextended here. Just 1v4 on the back line. I think Penguin tried to help out, but it's just traded 1-for-1 so far. Fenback is gonna survive, but Alpha flashing into the back line, trying to get some extra damage down on that extra Chaos Storm. But we're gonna send 3 hitting so far. Fenback still untouched on the outside, still not dead. It's a triple kill for Fenback, and now an ace in the hole. We'll guarantee the team fight for the Monkeys.
Yeah, Literal Monkey's just making it happen, and yeah, the Malphite 3 kills there in their pocket, and they're not even damage built, so it's pretty tough to actually do anything here. Wenbach, oh, I like that, Wenbach, okay, with the W there in the chat, like that. Caitlyn, 306 here, also doing a great performance, and I think it's just going to be, I think your prediction of 2-0 is just going to go crazy here, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, I mean, again, I came into this expecting it to be a 2-0 victory for the Monkeys, but I did think it was going to be a hard-fought 2-0. I was expecting to say, like, oh, the series score doesn't really belie the strengths of the teams, and doesn't really say, like, how strong Baron Besties were, but it does just feel like Monkeys are just better on the day here. They feel like they came out with a plan in their draft, they executed on it perfectly, and Baron Besties just don't have anything to respond for it.
Yeah. Having Hui now, you know, at least a bit online, but like it's not going to get much easier since Kaisa isn't ahead enough to one-shot anyone, and now Red already on Pyrat.
Has that stride breaker, so it's going to get an extra slow, but it's going to be forced to lose that flash on the gank. Audrey is here, but a level down versus Singular Bread on the volley there, and with Pyrat not having flash, not having showstopper, I don't know if they even want to engage on this. I think Baron Besties can't even try and find a way into this fight. They're just going to be forced to walk away.
Yeah, unless they somehow bypass the front line and find Yomi in a pocket somewhere with the help of the Kaisa dive, it's going to be really hard to actually find an opening, since you can't really go through the volley bear at this stage of the game. Malphite also now with that ultimate is looking for it.
Here. There's that Solar Fire. Only finds one on Pot of Greed, and Liv is going to get that Glacial Fissure to make sure that the rest of the team can walk away. So it's a couple of ultis burned defensively. No real resources expended yet